Am I the asshole refusing to ban alcohol from Christmas? We have a large mixed family. My wife is Mexican, so her family starts dropping in on Christmas Eve and we host them and my family Christmas Day for dinner. It could be over 50 people in and out of our house in those 2 days. There's lots of mixing of cultures because who doesn't want tequila and tamales? I'm often gifted drinks and my wife likes wine. My older brother Mike started dating this new woman who has children. I'll call her Jenny. Jenny wants to bring her 3 children that I have only met briefly over the summer. But she said her children are not allowed around people who drink. So now Mike wants me to ban all alcohol at Christmas from my house. My mother backs him up, saying it's unnecessary to have all those people around children, even though I have 2 of my own and my children love the loud bustling house at Christmas and playing with their cousins. These no other children on my side of the family, so Jenny's children, like my family, and need to adjust my holiday to make Jenny and them feel welcome. Another issue I was told to talk about my kids is Santa. Santa wasn't really a thing in my wife's culture, so we did away with it before my wife felt like the whole naughty and nice thing with Santa doesn't go with her Mexican Catholic roots, so Santa is more of symbol of Christmas for my children and the cousins. I understand that Jenny is really into Santa and Elf on the Shelf. My children are 5 and 8 and Jenny's are 4, 10, and I don't know how my children or their cousins would react to all of that if it was brought up. I said maybe next year maybe my mom could host our family's Christmas or my brother and Jenny could, if they are still together. But I don't feel like setting rules in my house about tequila and making kids pretend Santa and Elf on the Shelf is real or talk to their cousins about it. It sounds like a disaster waiting to happen, so I think Jenny and her kids should stay at home. Not the asshole. It's your house and therefore your party. If this woman doesn't like that, she can either stay home or find a babysitter and have fun for the first time in her life. Not the asshole. Jenny is a hanger-on at best here and does not get to dictate _shit _. The whole naughty and nice thing with Santa doesn't go with her Mexican Catholic roots. I could not care less about Santa, but I'm very curious about her thinking here, as I was raised Catholic and it was all about constantly reminding people that they're naughty. Jenny seems high maintenance and reeking of entitlement. Her priority, as a newcomer to this large family, should be to get to know others, insert herself and her children into what seems a wonderfully blended group of adults and children. Her approach is hostile, rude, impolite, oblivious to us, self-centered. She is setting conditions to people she does not know. I commend your brother for being so accommodating to a woman he has been dating since not long ago, but mi casa is no Jenny's casa. Jenny can opt for celebrating Christmas in the abstinence of her home and thus protect her children from, oh the horror. Adults celebrating a centuries-old tradition, in the presence of their children, united by love, tolerance, curiosity to know one another. Not the asshole, and stand your ground. If Jenny's children aren't allowed to be around people who drink alcohol, she can easily solve the problem by not coming to your house for Christmas. Your brother and mother can host their own Jenny-approved event. Your celebration sounds very similar to how my Eastern European family celebrated Christmas. Lots of good food, brandy, wine, cookies. Sure, some people got a little drunk, but it was part of the experience. Like you, Santa was not recognized in our home. Baby Jesus and the angels brought our gifts. Saint Nicholas, not Santa, visited on December 6th to leave little treats in our shoes. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It is not a guest's prerogative to dictate what a host does or does not serve when hosting an event. Period. Not the asshole. It's completely unreasonable of her to dictate that you can't drink alcohol in the house if you have 50+ other people popping in for drinks and food, or maybe she just doesn't realize what the vibe is going to be. That's just what happens at Christmas, so she'll need to make an exception or come and visit another time when it's just you and them. As for Santa, tell your kids that her kids believe in Santa and ask them if they'd be okay with playing along. They'll probably love to do that. Am I the asshole for calling my friend a loser? I, 27F, am Japanese and moved to an English-speaking country, not America, for university. My friend, 29F, is from my university. A bit of background: she became my friend in university. I have a very Japanese-sounding name and she immediately approached me to ask if I am Japanese because she loves Japan. My English wasn't great and she sometimes got frustrated, but we got along really well and became really close. Only thing is, she doesn't love Japan. She loves anime. She talks like an anime character, does the facial expressions and hand gestures, wears cosplay day to day and wants to change her name to the name of her favorite anime character. She is a self-proclaimed otaku, though she did stop using the word when I explained that it has negative connotations in Japan. It started to bother me a little bit when I first realized, but people have their own interests, so who am I to judge? Now, she is still the same but with really impressive collections. She is also planning a trip to Japan for the first time. I was so excited for her to go and offered to put together a guide for her. She said that would be great. I spent days putting together a document with etiquette, places I recommend for food and to visit, places to avoid or red flags to look out for, phone numbers of emergency services and my family for if she needed help, and useful phrases. I included my parents' address because when I told them about it, they offered to have her stay with them, so I had it there as an option for her. When I gave this document to her, she rolled her eyes and said that all of that was boring, that she thought I would be able to give her insider knowledge for anime tours that won't have stupid gaijin, her words. She also said she didn't need to know any Japanese as it was a waste of time, because Japanese people are very respectful and will speak English for me. And I know enough from anime. I have explained to her before that most Japanese people don't speak English very well and that anime Japanese isn't natural, but she is convinced that everyone will be able to understand her. She also didn't care about the etiquette or anything like that, said it didn't matter because people see tourists all the time so they don't care. She showed me her vague outline for her trip and it was just anime. Nothing cultural, nothing historical, just anime. I can't explain it, and I know that 100% I sound like an asshole when I say this, but I was so embarrassed for her. I snapped and I told her that she has no respect for the culture of Japan, that she only sees Japan as the overly sexualized and cute anime that she watches, and that she's a loser. I said she'd be really disappointed when she landed and realized everybody just thought she was an otaku. She was really upset and isn't talking to me. I feel terrible about it. I shouldn't have been so harsh, but I had put in so much effort for her to just throw it in my face like it was nothing. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. I feel embarrassed for your friend just reading this. A lot of Westerners don't have much cultural touchpoints outside of media, so they assume the same of other cultures. It sounds like she is just fetishizing a culture that she hasn't even bothered to learn about. Not the asshole. Your friend genuinely has no respect for your country, culture, and she's literally the worst type of tourist. As shitty as this is to say, I'm willing to bet the only reason why she tried to befriend you was because she has a fetish for Japanese people. My husband is Japanese and he's had a lot of run-ins with people like her. Closing parenthesis. Not the asshole. I am a student of Japanese, like I actually have a bachelor's degree and am working on my master's degree on Japan studies. Weeaboos like her give people like me a bad name. I've had to defend myself so many times that although, yes, I like anime, I am not some weird anime otaku who sees nothing but anime. My main interest is actually Sengoku Jidai history and Edo culture. I'll like her go to Japan and perpetuate bad stereotypes. She needs a wake-up call. Personally, I hope she is super disappointed in Japan and never goes back, or maybe, if I am thinking positive, she discovers the country has so much more to offer. Calling her a loser was a bit much, but she basically disrespected your whole culture. Maa, tonikaku, donmai. Obviously not the asshole. Can we get that outline though? I always thought about traveling to Japan. I'm not a fan of anime. Not the asshole. I am only reading this and even I am embarrassed. You went above and beyond putting that guide together for her. I'd honestly distance myself from this friend. She most likely doesn't respect you as a human being as well and just sees you as a prop in her obsession. Speaking all of this as an anime-obsessed person. Not the asshole. I went into this thinking obviously you'd be the but no. While it's not exactly cool what you said, she is a loser, not for her interest in anime, but the fact that she's totally disrespectful of you and your culture. Because she is a huge anime fan, I can maybe understand her desire to center her trip around that. But the whole expecting people to cater to her by speaking English and having zero interest in learning how to be a polite and respectful tourist, that really infuriated me. TBH, I don't know how you stay friends with her. Am I the asshole for demanding back a loaned antique that wasn't supposed to be a gift? I, 45F, have a dear friend, Lauren, 43F. We grew up together, and she was a bridesmaid at my wedding 20 years ago. Several years ago my husband and I had a great opportunity to work and live abroad for a few years. It required that we sell our house and most of our belongings, and put the rest in storage. One item I did not want to let go was a beautiful antique crystal lamp that belonged to my late grandmother. It holds many important memories for me. Unfortunately, our storage unit was so full that I was afraid I wouldn't be able to squeeze it in without giving up something else we wanted to keep. I mentioned this dilemma to Lauren, and she jumped in with an offer to hold onto the lamp, for me. She said it would look gorgeous in her living room and she would be proud to display it there until we got back. I was thrilled. Well, our time abroad recently came to an end and we are now back in the US. We bought a new house, collected our belongings from storage, and are in the process of furnishing it. I asked Lauren for my lamp back, and she got all pissy and said that she understood it was a gift. I reminded her that it was a family heirloom that she promised to keep, for me, until I got back, but she insists that's not how she remembers it. She said she adores this lamp, it's the focal point of her living room decor, and that if I demanded it back our friendship would be over. I'm heartbroken. She is one of my oldest friends, and while she can be quirky, she's never done anything like this before. I don't want to lose her friendship, but I also don't want to lose a treasured family heirloom. It's also worth quite a bit of money, it appraised at over $2,000. To be clear, I am 100% confident that I did not tell her it was hers to keep. Given our lifelong friendship, I thought it was safe to leave it with her. I can't even fathom why she thinks I gave it to her. We are not rich, I would never give a gift that expensive to anyone. To make matters worse, I told my sister about all of this, and she hit the roof. That lamp holds memories for her too, and she was livid that it might be lost to our family. I've always intended to pass it down to my own daughter. So last week I told Lauren I want the lamp. She burst into tears and accused me of putting material things over friendship, but said she'd give it back, although she keeps coming up with excuses why she's been too busy to either bring it over or let me come by to get it. Now I'm wondering if she's right. Is a lifelong friendship more important than a lamp? Am I the asshole for demanding it back, hurting Lauren's feelings and making her think I don't care about our friendship? Edit to update. I got the lamp back. I explained all the details of what happened in a comment below. Thanks for all the support, you all really helped me to realize I wasn't doing anything wrong. Not the asshole. The only person putting material things above your friendship is Lauren. She's the one who issued the ultimatum. She's the one who would rather have her aesthetic house with the lamp than you as a friend. She's the one who convinced herself you'd let her keep a beloved antique, despite the fact that she literally only has possession of it because you wanted to keep it. Her own logic story is full of holes and she knows it. That's why she's going nuclear. When was the last time you were at her house? Have you seen the lamp recently? Are you sure it hasn't been broken or sold? Or is she just really so deluded that she built her room around an item she doesn't own, and has been showing off her antique for years? Lauren insists she remembers that the lamp was a gift, not a loan. Lauren will end your friendship if you demand the lamp back. Lauren cried, and accused you of valuing the lamp over your friendship with her. Isn't that what Lauren just threatened you with? It's not for you to decide if a lifelong friendship is more important than the lamp. Lauren has already decided that, spoiler, she values the lamp more. Not the asshole. Is it possible the lamp's broke and she doesn't want to admit it? Is a lifelong friendship more important than a lamp? That's a question lamp thief Lauren should be asking themselves, since they are the problem here. Op is not the asshole and should get the lamp back ASAP before it disappears or has an accident. Not the asshole. Your friend is the one that's putting material things before friendship. Who give a F if it looks good in her living room? It was your grandmother's. Your mistake was even letting her have it, to be honest. I'd be surprised if she returns it. The relationship is damaged 100% either way. She didn't misunderstand. She is pretending and creating drama. It works well. You make the other person question if it's even worth following through on what the right thing is. Get your lamp back. Not the asshole. Go get your lamp right away, like right now, tonight or tomorrow morning at the latest. Am I the asshole for selling my house out from under my son and his girlfriend? I, 60F, have rented my second home to my son, Joe, 34M, for the last 7 years. Initially he shared the home with friends at a below-market rent. Leases included agreements for periodic, reasonable increases. Most of my retirement nest egg was in that home, and I was clear that if there was ever any risk to the investment, I would have to sell immediately. Once I lost the homeowner's insurance as they were not properly maintaining the house. We made corrections and got reinstated. Twice I lost my job and struggled to pay the mortgage on that house and my primary residence, but was able to quickly find another job and cover expenses. Each of these instances prompted a conversation that they should prepare for the house to be sold if I could not resolve the problem. I planted the seed with my son that he should be saving money in case he wanted to buy the house someday, and this is where I might be the awe. He initially said he was not interested, but 2 years ago his girlfriend, 32F, moved in and he showed more interest. I was very happy for them, and I thought we had a good relationship. They told their housemates they wanted to live together as a couple and asked them to move out. She coordinated an effort to clean up the house and maintain it better, which made me very happy. Then our neighborhood started changing. Investors were buying up properties at hugely inflated prices and mostly renting them out. Some homes are vacant for a long time before being rented. There was a shooting a block away. It was time to get out of that neighborhood and take advantage of the higher market prices. I spoke to Joe and his girlfriend in the fall of 2023 and explained why they should start making plans to be out by the fall of 2024. We briefly discussed their financial situation. They were not able to buy the house, and possibly never could at the going rate. The value of homes had more than doubled in a year, and that market was not going to sustain itself much longer. Everything instantly changed. She was openly rude to my face and via text. When they moved out, they left some petty, vindictive messages around the house. They refused to give anyone in the family their new address. In 2017 I had promised Joe a portion of the profit when I sell. The day after I wrote him the check he changed his phone number. He has gone no contact and broken my heart. His father, 71M, my ex, told me that Joe eventually called him, but still won't give his address. He told my ex if I ever got his number then he would just change it again and never trust him. He said they are cutting me out of their life because I sold the house out from under them. Am I the asshole here? Not the asshole. You gave your son notice all along that this was not a long-term solution. You talked with son and his girlfriend, and they could not afford to buy the house. You kept your word all throughout this, including writing that check to him, which my petty behind would have not done. I am sorry you are hurting over the loss of your son and how he has and is treating you. Sadly, your son was looking for you to continue how things went, even when it got so hard for you. Son forgets that you could have sold the house when you lost your job earlier. What would he have done then? Probably treated you the same way. It sadly sounds like you will always be in your son and his GF, the villain, in their story. I am so sorry you are going through this. Not the asshole. They sound very ungrateful. You subsidized your son for years with below market value rent. Sounds like he and his girlfriend were hoping that would go on indefinitely. Maybe get the word to him that he should be concerned about your will. Not the asshole. 1. You hinted that you might sell the house more than once. 2. You gave them the right of first refusal before putting it on the market. 3. You tried sending them a portion of the profit from the sale, then they moved away and ghosted you. Didn't sell the house out from under them. Not the asshole. And he got a lump sum from the profit, so he wasn't left with just an eviction, which pretty much 99% of all renters don't get. You can't beat yourself up for this. They knew the deal. Not the asshole. Can't believe he took your money and then did this. Your son and his girlfriend are entitled. Not the asshole, but you were straight up getting used by both of them. Why in the world would you write him a freaking check after they, in your own words, wrote vindictive messages all around the house and even before that started being rude and disrespectful to your face? And you still wrote him a check. I'm sorry your own son used you and dumped you after him and his girlfriend got what they could out of you. Your son should be ashamed of what he did to you. But now you see he is trying to justify it. I hope you move on and find some peace after this situation.